Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the first 2v2 game in the SNF coverage of the Season 7, I believe, of the Intergalactic Colosseum. In this first 2v2 match, we have ChickenNoob and CookieNoob representing SNF versus... what would that be? Joergi, I'm going to assume? And Hzale representing JEW. So let's get started and see how these guys plan on starting the initial game. So we have CookieNoob taking Cybran, we have ChickenNoob on Seraphim, and Hzale on Cybran, and Joergi, maybe, I'm not quite sure exactly. Sorry for probably slaughtering and mispronouncing this name, but anyway, on Seraphim, so we have a Seraphim against Seraphim and Cybran against Cybran, so let's see what these guys plan on starting with. We have a land factory, followed by a power gen, and then probably, no, two power gens, then the initial mixes from ChickenNoob. We have CookieNoob starting off with a land factory, going for a couple of P-gens, and his mixes, then an air factory and some more P-gens. We then have Joergi over here doing something similar to CookieNoob, starting out with a land factory, going some P-gens. He doesn't seem to be claiming all four of his mixes with his ACU, instead only taking three and then proceeding to build the air factory after. Who knows, maybe four. And we have Hzale doing also something very similar. So first land, second air for everybody. Does not look like we're gonna have any really early naval factory, but we shall have to see. Well, let's speed this up to move along the initial point. We have scouts out for both teams. Oh, my bad, that is not a scout. Well, I guess it could be considered. We have a hunter, couple hunters, quite a few hunters out for CookieNoob, and some Selens out for Joergi over here. Looks like we have a hunter up here for Hzale as well, looking for an expanding engineer from ChickenNoob. Definitely a lot of mixes to be had by the middle players, as this is a 4v4 map. So those hunters that we saw earlier appear to have started a fight with the Selen. Seem to have destroyed it, and the other Selen goes down. However, it does sound like, yes, we do have a hunter over here attacking the engineer, and he does kill it, left on 2 HP. Have a Mantis over here going after ChickenNoob's engineers. We have a first bomber out. Well, I shouldn't say first bomber. We do have a bomber out, though, for Hzale. Looking for an engineer to pick up. However, there was no scout ahead of time, so it's going to be difficult to find anything. Slow the game down a bit here. Some Mantis trading some fire with the Tham over here. Bit of reclaim up here. A lot of reclaim on the sides right here. See the engineer's got a point defense down to help defend that, and we do have CookieNoob moving his ACU up to claim the reclaim. His opponent is doing the exact same thing. Let's take a look at the economy so far. In terms of total mass collected, Team 1 is quite far ahead in terms of Team 2. Over quite possibly 3k mass ahead, though I expect that gap to close very shortly, as CookieNoob has gotten his ACU up here much quicker than Hzale. So most of that's already been reclaimed. Have a rather large amount of Mantis moving across the bridge for Hzale. I know it's not Hzale, but Hzale? I don't know. I'm just gonna keep on calling him Hzale, even though I know it's wrong. Quite a few naval factories going down, though, for Team 1. We do not yet have any naval factories going down for Team 2, which could be quite the issue coming up, especially since we do have Zuis in play for both teams. But relying solely on Zuis alone is not the best thing to do. We do actually have a naval yard up in the top pond as well. Not seeing anything of the sort down to the bottom pond though. ChickenNoob has actually managed to claim claim half of the mexes that are out on the island, as well as the rocks that are out here, so that's going to be giving them a nice advantage. The mass advantage in between these two teams is increasing quite drastically. We're now between, well, 5k between the two. In terms of mass income, we do have a slight advantage for Team 1. Looks like we have a rather large amount of mantis moving off. Oh. Maybe a little bit of a mistake here. But yet again, I wonder if he knows the ACU's there. He might. That's probably why he's not sending them in. If he were to overcharge, he could easily dispatch of all those, though. That being said, ChickenNoob is having a rather hard time keeping these mass extraction points under his control. Needs to get a couple more engineers out and claim those to give them the advantage they need. As mentioned earlier, those early frigates and the Zoes are going to be able to take down the naval yards quite quickly. So this most likely will be a Navy deny. However, we do actually have a torp launcher and a T1 naval factory down. However, it is not building anything and will be taking fire from Zoes, which makes defending naval quite difficult because of the Zoe's hover. Torpedo launcher is not able to actually hit them. A bit unfortunate. Torpedo launcher goes down. Things are not looking good for Team 2. Quite a large air engagement kicking off. Well, kicked off. Now ended with air superiority for Team 1. However, we do have a large amount of mantis here trying to run by the ACU. Making a little bit of a mistake here. He should be pushing in towards the main base, as everything up here has already been destroyed, and he should be aware of that too.
Commander under
yes,
attack.
he is. He may be trying to make a push in back here, but unfortunately for him, ChickenNoob has really not invested in rebuilding too much back here, which is a bit of a mistake on his part. If he were to rush into the main base of all these mantis, he could do quite a bit of damage, despite the fact that there are some units around here. Very, very large commitment, though, from CookieNoob into the naval game. Still seeing Team 1 trying to get back into the naval game, but Team 1 was just too quick on it. Do have a counter naval factory up in the top right-hand pond, though. Is ChickenNoob aware of this? He is not. However, he does have some frigates inbound, and he probably suspects it. No naval factory down here in the bottom left-hand pond, though. Although we do have a small fortification built up on this island, though, from CookieNoob. ChickenNoob really having a difficult time getting a hold of that eco. It's not doing very good. That being said, CookieNoob is investing into mass extractors. Investing a large amount of his economy into them. We currently have 4 of them. We have... doesn't seem to be any from ChickenNoob, no. Only relying on T1 mass extractors. A little bit of engagement in between the forward THAMs and CookieNoob's forward Mantis. However, that naval force is becoming quite a nuisance now. Should really consider going T2, getting some Seraph and T2 hover tanks up. Help try to counter the Zoes and the frigates. Gunships are going to do very little, as Team 1 has quite the advantage in air. Plus, this amount of frigates, the anti-air on them, is going to be able to easily take down a couple gunships. However, we do have quite, maybe not, an attempted run by on ChickenNoob, but no luck there. ChickenNoob really needs to claim these rear mixes, though. So there's these top mixes. Got some engineers he could do it with, too, but they're busy reclaiming at the moment. Now might have some ACU on ACU action here. Both ACUs are completely unupgraded. Still only seem to have T1 online for CookieNoob in terms of ground forces. However, we do have a T2 shift to Navy, which is going to pose a massive issue for Team 2. We do have quite the little Navy setup down here, though, from Team 1. However, this is going to get very quickly overrun by ChickenNoob's frigates. We're not pulling back, perhaps thinking that there is a Torp ACU comm in the water here. Very large engagement over here. Quite a huge bomber horde from CookieNoob. He does enjoy his T1 bomber spam. Most likely trying to kill the ACU with the T1 bombers. That seems to be the case. This naval force up here now under assault. We do have a torpedo upgrade, though. Excuse me, bit of a sneeze there. I hit the mute button just in time. However, this is not looking good at all for Team 2. Being very, very heavily pushed in, and now with that destroyer here to make matters worse, they're going to have a very, very, very tough time dislodging this destroyer. Destroyer seems to be redirected towards that upgrading ACU, perhaps sensing a kill with the destroyer's torpedo launchers. Have an EMP'd frigate over here, probably Medusa around. And there go the torpedoes after the ACU, so that ACU is going to be under constant torpedo fire from that destroyer. ChickenNoob should probably be redirecting. He's actually trying to ground fire the ACU with the Zeus, but the water's just too deep. That sub right there should be redirected to go after the ACU, though. We have a second destroyer online now for CookieNoob, being also redirected after the ACU. Mistake here, he's never going to be, even if he were to finish the torpedo upgrade, he would still have a tough time beating that destroyer. And with the second one here, his fate is sealed. Down to the bottom right hand corner, though, we have a very sizable buildup of Mantis from CookieNoob. What happened to that horde of bombers we saw earlier? They must have all been shot down. And the GG skis go out. And down he goes. ChickenNoob finally able to capture that rear base. Team 1 now down a player, as well as having these destroyers on them. It is now going to be extremely difficult for them to end it, or for them to actually win. And we have a cruiser out too now for ChickenNoob, so he has transitioned to T2 Navy. However, with these cyber and destroyers' ability to walk on land, there's pretty much nowhere they can't siege. Quite a huge amount of mobile T1 AA probably to deal with the massive bomber threat. Got some Zeus pushing in from ChickenNoob here. Some Ilshivas too. Hopefully the audio levels are a bit better. this game. I'm not quite sure though. Just a little bit. That should be fine. This massive naval force building down here. Yeah, there we go. We have the Control K from Team 1. All remaining units on the field have been killed, and SNF has won the first of the 2v2 matches between SNF and JEW. And desync. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys next time.